And if you guys do have questions for these guys, please feel free to, here's Mr. Duhamel joining us. It's very confusing. All right, well, most of these guys are very familiar faces, obviously. And for those of you outside the winner's circle, please don't be shy. Come on in.
I think the bikes every year get faster, we have more brake horsepower, and this track seems to get smaller, you know, because obviously I'm riding around probably 60% of the track with my foot on the rear brake, just, you know, trying to work as my own traction control and stop the bike from wheeling. So that's the biggest thing I've noticed, having been away for a year, coming back, it just the track seems smaller and the bikes seem faster.
Excellent. Miguel, you've obviously had a lot of experience and success here. What's the secret to this place, do you think? Not that you can share all your secrets.
Tell me. Well, it's not to work hard, take it easy, and for everybody listening, please drink a lot, don't sleep. That's usually a good thing.
Sound advice.
So, yeah, no, I just, you know, that Neil touched on it too, it's a lot of work, and so hopefully we'll be able to, we're here to test and get our bike better, and obviously the goal is to be extremely competitive as the year goes on.
And Matt, maybe you can talk about how things went for you guys this morning and how things are looking for the race weekend.
You know, I've been here before, so I really like the track, and I think right now we came from the test at Barber, so working through a couple different things, but so far the bike's working really good, and I'm really happy to be here. Like I said, I like the track and I feel comfortable here. I think I'm riding good, so hopefully the rest of the afternoon will go real well, and we can give these guys a run.
And Jake, I know this is your first year with the team. How has that transition been for you?
It's great. You know, it's nice to be on a Honda. You know, this is the first motorcycle I started racing on, so it's nice to be back with Honda and be at one of the closest racetracks to Seattle, because that's where I live. It's about a 12-hour drive, but I consider this one of my home tracks. I love this track. It's like really physically demanding and technical, so it suits my style.
For Neil, I'm from England, and all the fans want to know, English fans, is how after British Superbikes, World Superbikes and MotoGP, how does it compare to being the AMA series?
That's a good question. It's a very good question. It's difficult to answer because year from year it changes. But you know, I feel like I've been racing for a lot of years, nearly sort of 18 seasons, and you know, I'm riding around this morning, riding as hard as I can, and I'm still 2 seconds slower than Matt Mladen, or maybe even more, 2.5 seconds at the moment. And that's pretty amazing, because when I ride to the level I rode this morning at MotoGP or World Superbikes, if it was World Superbikes, on a bad day I'd have been a second behind Bayliss, or on a bad day I'd be 1.5 seconds behind Rossi. So I don't know if people appreciate the level that Matt Mladen's riding. Yes, he's got a good bike, we all know that, but I think credit where credit's due at times. I think the level of what Matt and Ben have done for the whole series, they've raised the series, and I think when I came back into the championship in 2005, I thought it was going to be not easy, but I didn't think it was the level that it is at. Unfortunately, the rest of the world don't know that. You know, all my friends and family back home think that this championship's a very weak championship, and they just think, why aren't you winning the AMA? You know, what can I say? All I say to them is it's bloody a lot harder than you think, you know, and unfortunately this championship gets no coverage in Europe, as opposed to obviously World Superbikes or MotoGP. Everybody thinks that's the pinnacle of the sport, but I think a lot of people would be surprised at how fast someone like Mr. Mladen goes or Mr. Speeds goes. I started racing when I was 9 years old, and I did motocross, and I raced motocross until I was 15, and then when I was 16 I started road racing, and I'm now 34. So that's that. So I've been racing forever. But luckily I've got a teammate who's slightly, I think he's a year older than me, so.
You're going to be older than me by the end of this year. Yeah.
Miguel, how about you? How old were you, and what bike did you start racing?
Oh, I started racing when I was 7, and motocross again. That's how we started on the kiddie class there, and then I've never gotten off a bike since. So that'd be like 27 years.
God, that's longer than I've been alive.
Think about not coming back?
No, not really. That's not the thought ever. I had that thought maybe when I was a little younger. I had a pretty big crash then too, but you know, you get over it and you just go out there and do the best job you can. Now I was trying to, I was thinking for a split second after the crash last year when the tire overheated, because usually I try to fall in places where there's no wall, but that time it was not my decision. And for a minute I was laying there in the gravel trap, and obviously a very big crash and hit the wall really hard. I thought I broke every rib I had in my body, and maybe 2 more than I didn't. I thought I picked a few. But for a minute I thought, wow, maybe I could get up and walk this off. That would be really impressive. You know, people would just go like, wow, that guy's. So they sat me up, and that was a bad idea. I said, no, okay, we're gonna wait for the ambulance. But no, I was just looking forward to getting back. I was really fortunate to be as healthy as I am. The protection that was given to me by my shark helmet was amazing, because I was conscious, which was really important, because I had a collapsed lung and I had a punctured lung on the other side, and I was bleeding internally and stuff like that. So I was able to remain calm in that motion, and you know, again, the Joe Rocket leathers, and for sure the Alpine Star boot that we wear with the harder shell. I mean, my feet hit the wall. You know, I was doing about 120 miles an hour. So you know, we blatantly tell you what we wear, but the reason we wear is because for safety. And I just want to reiterate that if I didn't have the best safety equipment on me, it might have been a different story. But I'm here now talking to you, and going to try to go fast later on. Thank you.
I've been fortunate enough to ride the 1000cc Ducati and the 800cc MotoGP Ducati. I rode that last year doing some testing, and I've got to say the 1000cc Ducati that I rode was like the old school one, which didn't really have any traction control or anything, and it was just overpowered. It was horrible. It does that much power. I just couldn't really ride it at all. I just rode with my foot on the rear brake constantly. The bike would spin or it would wheelie. There was no in between. So if you found grip, it'd wheelie instantly. And so you sort of didn't want it to wheelie everywhere. So you wanted it to spin, but when you're spinning, you're not going forward. So it wasn't really a pleasant experience. Having said that, it's slightly similar. Even riding the Honda here on this small track, it either spins or it wheelies. You know. And it's tough, you know, when you've got over 200 brake horsepower, you know, and coming around here, and you know, there's not long fast corners. It's all sort of second gear hard acceleration or first gear hard acceleration. You're going to have the issues of spinning and sliding. But to answer your question, these bikes are still a lot easier to ride, I'd say.
All right, well, thank you guys so much for your time today.